Hey everybody, Joe McCall here with the Real Estate Investing Mastery Podcast and automated wholesaling and REI webinars and all of the above, all right? Listen, this is part 2 of my little podcast series that I'm doing about automated wholesaling, how to wholesale deals from anywhere in the world. And if you missed it, go back to view episode 1 where I talked about the best ways to find sellers and buyers. I talked about how to create a marketing plan, how to keep it simple, how to stay focused, and a lot of good stuff in there. You're going to like it a lot. This one, I'm going to be talking about systems. Which systems should you use to automate your entire business? And then next episode I'm going to be doing is all about follow-up. How to create or how to use mine, simple offer calculator, to quickly calculate offers and have your systems send those offers to sellers automatically all the time. So I'm excited about this. Why am I doing this free content? Well, a couple reasons. Number one, I like to give you free stuff and just share all of this good, juicy material with you because it's fun and I get a kick out of it. Number two, I'm also doing a webinar, doing several live webinars over the course of this week and next week and probably on. Live webinars on how I automate my wholesaling business. We just got back from Europe a few months ago. We wholesaled deals all over the country from Europe. And the year before that, we did a 3-month RV trip. So both times we were gone for about 2 to 3 months. And it's something that I'm really passionate about. I got to meet while I was in Europe last time several different wholesalers that were doing the same thing, but in England. You know, a good friend of mine, Tom, was wholesaling deals in England from Barcelona, Spain. So I've had the privilege of coaching students from Lebanon, from Singapore, from the Philippines, from Canada, from multiple different countries all over the world on how to wholesale deals in the United States. So I'm actually doing it myself, and I'm coaching and helping people do it as well. I'm doing some live webinars teaching you how to do that. So this is kind of good teaser stuff. But if you don't want to attend the webinar, then that's cool. You're still going to get some cool stuff and benefit from this free content I'm giving you here. So today, I'm going to be talking about a couple things, mainly Podio and virtual assistants. Those are my two main systems that I use in my business to automatically wholesale deals. And so let's just dive into it. Number one, Podio. Many of you have heard of Podio, and many of you may not like Podio. I don't know why, but some of you may be into a lot of other good tools out there. FreedomSoft, REI Blackbook, RealFlow, and I'm going to be missing several others. I apologize. But there's a lot of good ones out there. You know, I've used them all. In fact, I still am a subscriber to a lot of these tools, and they're really good. The reason I like Podio is because it's simple, and it's very easy to customize however you do your business, all right? I'm going to just walk you through some basic apps and some basic workflows that you can use and set up in your own Podio account so that nothing falls through the cracks, no lead left behind. That's our goal, right? Our goal is every lead comes in, all right, and nothing falls through the cracks. Every single seller gets followed up with and made an offer. So no seller lead is left behind. And the thing I like about Podio is that you can use it to manage your entire business, your wholesaling business, your lease option business, rehab, property management, short sales, land. I have a good friend that I interviewed recently for my podcast, does a ton of land, and he has custom built a Podio system to manage his entire process from beginning to end, all the due diligence and everything. But I want to show you Podio so how you can keep it really simple, because I've seen a lot of people make this mistake of they complicate it and they try to plug in too many third-party different apps into it to try to make it work and do all of this stuff for you. And I'm going to share with you a way, the simplest, best, fastest, easiest way to automate Podio. And it's not, well, it is revolutionary, but it's not really groundbreaking because it's really, really simple if you think about it. So I'm going to walk you through Podio, but just first, go to podio.com and download a free, or open a free account. I'm going to show you real quickly where you do that. If you go to, again, to podio.com, a lot of you guys have already been in Podio. I'm logged into Podio, so I'm going to go into an incognito window to show you what Podio looks like. It's real simple. And last I looked, you could get a free account. Let's see if it's still free. Somewhere in here, there it is. Try Podio free. They're always changing it and testing things. And But you can try Podio for free as long as you like. Right there at the bottom of that page right there. But it is normally $9 a month per employee. Now, here's an important thing. It's $9 per month per internal employee, but you can have unlimited external employees, right? So I have a ton of external employees that I use, okay? But the most popular one that I'd recommend is the Plus, $14 a month, because this allows you to have set different roles, admin, light user, editor, different roles to people that are in your thingy. So that's probably what I'd recommend is the Plus, okay? And this is interesting. This is new, actually. Free Podio extensions with annual plan. So if you pay with an annual plan, you can have a lot of different extensions. Now, what I mean by extensions, if you go to Podio.com, the cool thing about Podio, similar to Zapier, if you've heard of Zapier, it allows you to plug in a lot of external things. Now, I'm going to show you why you don't necessarily need to plug in all those external things, but if you're interested, you can see that it integrates with Google Drive, Dropbox. You can do a backup really easily here. It integrates with MailChimp, all kinds of different software that you can get things in and out of Podio. Okay, so check out Podio.com extensions. But get the free plan, upgrade eventually to the most popular Plus, right? And the other thing I wanted to show you here in Podio, it's really important. Their support is amazing. It's really, really good. In fact, this lady right there has helped me lots of times just fix things, you know. Their Podio support is really good. And they have some amazing training inside of Podio. And for Podio premium users, you can get a customized personal training session, or for free users, you can get this kinds of training. So I want to show you real quick. I'm going to pause the video so I can find it and not waste your time. Hold on. All right, here we go. So from Podio, if you go to support, you're going to get to this page. And if you scroll down, you can go to the Help Center. Now, the cool thing about the Help Center is there's a lot of really good videos there, and they're all super short. Unlike mine, these are like really short, 2 to 3 minutes long. And if you click here to get started, you're going to get some basic videos about Podio and how it works. Even some webinars that they did. Somebody did a real estate webinar at Podio.com, right? Some basic get started, get to know Podio stuff. You can even look at some case studies. The other thing that's really cool, if you go right here to using Podio, this is where you get all of this stuff right here. You know, like overview of tasks. Tasks are really important in this business. I'm going to share that with you. And this thing shows you how the tasks work. And there's a 2-minute and 38-second video right here. And so this is what I'm going to encourage you to do, is go through this stuff, the basic Podio training at Podio.com, and have your VAs go through this as well. Okay, that's probably the number one thing you should have them do. All right, so back to the mind map here. I'm going to show you some basic, simple Podio apps and how I've set it up. All right, I like to keep it real simple, so I just have 5 apps. Podio, it's designed to where there's organizations like this, then there's workspaces inside of the organization, etc. And inside of each workspace are apps. So this is my master template for deals, wholesale deals. You could have a template for lease options, rehab, property management, whatever you want. I even have one for admin where I track meetings and standard operating procedures and timesheets. You can create a workspace for communications for your team. Basically anything that you're using online to manage your business, Podio can do it all for you because it's so customizable. It's just drag and drop. So here I have sellers, buyers, offers, contracts, and campaigns. Seller leads come in here. Buyer leads come in here. If I want to make an offer, I can do that here. Once I get a property under contract, it comes here. And I also track my marketing campaigns. So I know when if I'm sending out postcards, I can track which marketing campaign that lead came from. So I'm going to walk through some real basic things here for you. In my marketing campaign, as an example, I'm going to go add to marketing campaign. And I'm going to call this, now the number of campaign, you can have like a code or a phone number, whatever that comes with it, okay? Absentee owners in hot zips, okay? And this will be postcards, and I'm going to send them today, and I'm going to send 2,000, and you can put your target zips in here if you want. You can put the source of your leads if you want. You can track your data cost. Let's just say it's $95. Your printing cost, let's be about $800. Okay. Total cost, that's a calculation. So if I save this marketing campaign and refresh this page, it tells me my total cost is $895. Okay, and you can add images and files, whatever. So that's a new marketing campaign. Okay. Now, a seller lead comes in, and the way we set it up is whenever a lead comes in through Vumber or CallRail, the system automatically emails a new lead into Podio, right? So when a new lead comes in, sometimes we use Vumber here. It'll come in with the phone number, okay, and it'll give information in there. You talk to the seller, get their name, Jane Smith. Let's say Jane Seller. Get their phone number, okay, and you put in the property address. Let me pause this to get a real property. Hold on. All right, so this is a property I found on Zillow. I sent this seller a letter because remember we talked about in the last post when a lot of times these sellers will come up as not in the absentee list, right? So we sent this guy a letter. This house is, wow, it's vacant, right? It was probably listed for sale. The guy couldn't sell it, so he decided he was going to rent it. So I sent him a letter. He calls me back, says, yep, I want to sell this thing. So the lead comes in, I get the address, and I put it into Podio. And it first comes in as new, and the next action, it's always important to track the stage of the lead, and then what is the next thing that has to be done. All right, and it brings in the Zillow link automatically right here, which is pretty cool, huh? And so some simple basic questions, right? So what's your situation? Why are you selling? Move to another state. So what would you like to see happen? Sell ASAP. When do you want to sell it? ASAP. Okay. So talking to the seller, the guy's motivated. I'm going to set up an appointment. Pretty simple, right? Let's say he's not distressed. He says, yeah, I'm not in a rush. I don't need to sell it right away. Sell whenever, because he owns it free and clear. It doesn't matter. So obviously the seller is not distressed, but I'm just going to send him a written offer. Okay. Now the cool thing that happens with Podio, if I go to the very bottom, is a lead automatically comes up. Okay. Call new seller lead, right? And this is the power of Podio because when you create automatic tasks when things happen, then nothing falls through the cracks. So you can look here at Master Template Deals, look at your activity screen, and see all of your tasks right here on the right. And you can see the due dates. And so you can see if your VAs or your team are not calling up the leads and not completing the task, then everything here gets is shown up. Now, the interesting thing here is if I click this task, it's going to reference the lead that it came from. I can click that. It takes me to the seller lead. Okay. Now, I'm going to be talking about this because Podio is really, really simple, right, guys? And one of the problems that people come across is when they're trying to systemize Podio to get everything to do it, have it do everything for them, and they waste their whole day like in Podio when that's not the highest and best use of your time. The highest and best use of your time is talking to sellers and making offers. I'm going to be talking more about this in this post as we go along, but that's the highest and best use of your time. So I see so many people just getting really frustrated trying to get all of these third-party tools to work inside of Podio. There's Globiflow, there's Zapier, there's MailChimp, there's Lob, and I can go on and on. There's a whole list of things that, when you click this, I want it to do that, and then it do this, and then send that out, and send the text message, and all that stuff. And that's good, because if you can get that to work, it's awesome, and we have systems in place where we can do that stuff for you and set that up for you. But here's my point. The best automation sometimes, guys, is just get a virtual assistant to do it, right? So I can spend a lot of time and get complicated and show you Globiflow and show you how, well, if you create something here, it creates a new item here and then it notifies this guy and sends a text message to the seller and does this and sends a letter and then postcard and then whatever. But listen, let's just simplify it again. Let's take a deep breath and simplify it. So what I want to do is I talk to the seller, and the seller is not motivated. and I want to just send them an offer, right? I want to follow up with them. So I want to show you just a real quick, simple way where if you click a button in here, it doesn't get all fancy and create a bunch of workflows. It just creates a new task for your assistant to send them an offer, okay? It's really simple. I'm just going to go here. I'm going to click out of here. And I'm going to go back to the master templates. I'm in seller leads right here. I'm going to create a new workflow. And this is as simple as it needs to be, guys. You don't need to use all these third-party apps to do deals. Now, they're helpful, but you don't need to do them. So I'm going to go here to Manage Workflows. And this is real simple. I'll just go walk through this real fast. I already have a new workflow that says when a new lead comes in, create a task for the VA to call that lead, or you or whoever. So I'm going to create a new one. Once that lead's in and that seller lead has been updated, okay, next action has changed, okay, and then the future next action field contains, where to go here? Follow up, send offer, and mail, add condition. So when that field equals follow up, send offer in the mail, I'm going to create a task. This is so beautiful, right? Create a task, okay? Create an offer. I'm going to assign it to one of my assistants, okay? And I'm going to give it a due date of today. Or you could even say plus days, minus days, all right? And that's it. And give it a workflow, create and send an offer, okay? Bam, that's it. That's the only automation I need to do. You get it? You see the power of that? Now, if I'm back here in this lead, and I go to, the stage of lead was, it's in follow-up campaign. The next action is follow-up, send offer. Guess what happens? It's done. I don't need to worry about it anymore. I'm going to be talking about this later, especially in the podcast, how you can manage, especially in the webinar, how you can have your VA manage Podio for you. So your goal is never to be in Podio at all. You should never be in Podio. And if it's complicated, then it's just not going to work. You need to keep it really simple. So now when I scroll to the bottom, let me refresh this lead here. It says there's the task right there, create an offer. So my assistant gets this task that we need to create an offer. So if I go into the activity page here, you can see here are my tasks that are open. This one we already have done, right? So we complete that. So when we have our weekly meetings or whatever, we can look at all the open tasks. I can go to Sheila and I say, okay, here we have a task for you that was due on the 10th that you make an offer and you haven't completed this task yet. So it could be that she didn't do it yet, or she's too busy, or she just forgot to click complete, right? That's all the automation you need to do. Now you can get a little more technical and fancy if you want, where you can say, all right, when that is changed, create the task, and then create a new item in the offers app, all right? But I don't want to get all that technical into this. Let me go, sorry, hold on one second. Here we go, back to master template deals. All right, so we have a seller lead in here, okay? Find out later. Well, let's just say we get a buyer real quick. I'm going to put a buyer in here and show you how to create a contract. We do some buyer marketing, and we're going to add a new buyer into here. Sammy Buyer. Okay, and his phone is this, and his email is this. Now, there's real simple ways that I can show you in an automated wholesaling system where you can, once you add an email in here, it gets automatically added to your autoresponders like Aweber or MailChimp or something like that. So the status, he's looking for deals. He's definitely a serious buyer. He came from a marketing campaign. I forgot something. I forgot to show you how to link that seller lead to a campaign. Remind me to do that. I'll do that, okay? So this is a buy and hold investor. He's looking for properties under 50. He wants single families, et cetera, et cetera. All right? So this buyer now is in my buyers list. There he is, right here. Okay, let's quickly go back to sellers because I'm glad you reminded me. I want this seller lead come in and I want to find out, I want to track which marketing campaign he went to. Because remember we talked about in the last post how important it is to know your numbers, right? So we're going to track which lead, which marketing campaign this came from. And I have in here, where'd it go? Marketing campaign. All right, I have it here. Hold on a second. It was here. I don't know why I couldn't see it. But campaign reference, I'm going to now reference that campaign that it came from. And there it is right there. So I just clicked it. Now, sometimes what's cool is you can put in your campaign reference. I give a different phone number. I use a call rail, and I get a different phone number for each different major campaign. And then I can easily, quickly find that campaign just by looking at the phone number. So at the very top of the email when it comes in, of the new lead, it tells me the phone number that it came from. And so it's really easy then to just go and select which campaign it came from. Now again, you could set up workflows and things in GlobiFlow to do that for you, or you can just, guess what, have your VA do it for you. Okay. Now, it's linked to that campaign, which is really important because then we can create reports to show us at the end of the day, at the end of the month, how many leads we got from each campaign, okay? So we have a seller lead in here. We have a buyer in here. I'm not going to do offers. This is just another way you could create a simple offer. I'm going to share that in the webinar, how I can do that. But here we have a seller lead. We got it under contract, let's say. And now we have a buyer that is interested in buying it. And we're going to create a contract. This is so simple in Podio. This is why I love it. We're going to put the property address in here. Okay. And we can just track the status of it. The contract, this is when the contract was accepted with the seller. Let's say it's tomorrow. Okay. I can reference real quickly the seller lead. And let's say I don't remember, there's like 1,000 seller leads in here. I can actually start typing in the seller's phone number and it'll pop up right here. Okay. The same with the buyer. If I have a ton of buyers in here and I don't remember which one it was, but his name was Sam. There he is right there, Sammy Buyer. Okay. It's not a HUD. You can put in the property description here if you want. You can do some picture links, lockbox. You can see the cool thing is now you can track all of this stuff. And let's say you want to track the date that the inspection happened. All right. Let me just save this real quick. At any time during this process, you can go in here to modify template, and you can add a field in here for date of inspection. I think I might already have that in here, right? Inspection period ends. Well, how about a new field for when the inspection period starts? So I drag this over here, okay? Inspection period starts, and I want to, I don't need a time entry. I don't need an end date, and it doesn't need to show up in my calendar, okay? Click done. There, I just modified my buyer, my contracts app, okay? And there's the date it starts. Starts tomorrow and it ends on the 26th, let's just say, okay? And you can track the date of the actual inspection. You can track any images you want in here. And look here's some tasks that come up automatically. Send the paperwork to the title company. Send earnest money to the title company. Schedule an inspection and a walkthrough with the contractor, okay? That's the power of Podio because now nothing is falling through the cracks. Every time a new lead comes in, a buyer comes in, an offer needs to be created, a new contract happens, these tasks can happen automatically so nothing falls through the cracks. But do you see how simple I'm keeping this, all right? Notice I never took you to globiflow.com. Now, GlobiFlow is a great service. I know a lot of guys use it. I actually am a big customer and a big fan, and I use it a lot. But here's the thing, don't get tripped up in all of these extra things outside of Podio. You don't need them to do a deal, right? I see too many students and wholesalers get stuck with the systems and building it and perfecting it and trying to get it to do everything just right. And they have all of these third-party things tied in, and then what happens if one of the links in that chain breaks? Well, then you're spending a lot more time trying to figure out what broke, trying to get it to work and look just right. But all you need to do, guys, is create an automatic task for the virtual assistant or somebody on your team to do that stuff for you, okay? So here in Sellers again, it's so simple. You just go to this wrench, you go to Manage Workflows, and whatever it is, you can create a new workflow, just a task, you know? If you go here, let's say the stage of lead has changed, and the future stage of lead, oops, let me X that out there. the future stage of lead contains left message, okay? So I want my VA, every time I leave a message, when I first call a seller back and I leave a message, I want my VA to call that seller again the next day and send a text message. So all I do here is create task and drag this over, okay? Call seller back and send a SMS, okay? I assign it to my assistant, okay? And I give it a due date of tomorrow. And that's it, okay? Follow up with voicemail. Now, you could go in and create a workflow that automatically sends an SMS text message to the seller. But here's my point. Just keep it simple. I hope I'm hammering that in enough. Keep it simple and just create tasks for your team to do that. Then, when you click follow up or left voicemail, the task is automatically created. Okay. Then from here in your activity screen, you can go in either right here to tasks or look at your tasks right here and see everything that's outstanding and then manage your deal flow through tasks. Does that make sense? Let me show you one other cool thing here. So let's say you are at your team meeting with your VAs and you're managing, well, let's look at where we are with these tasks. If you click on this link right here for Master Template Deals Tasks, you can view all of these tasks by due date, right? The ones that are due today, the ones that are past due. And your goal is to eliminate all of the past due tasks and then give dates for all of the tasks that with no due dates. Does that make sense? So that is your goal. You shouldn't have any red in here at all. And all your laters should have a due date. There should not be any laters. That's as simple as it gets. So I can assign a due date right here. Okay? There we go. I can also look at by person. Okay? I can see who is responsible for all of these tasks. Others, now there's nobody responsible for these right now, but I can see my other assistant there. And I could also look by application. All right, here are all my seller leads, here's all my contracts. That is how stuff gets done. Cool? Podio is so simple, guys. It starts with the seller lead. Every seller lead in all your marketing campaigns comes into one thing. Okay? And that lead gets tracked with tasks and workflows of when that lead gets called, gets followed up, gets an offer sent to them, etc. Nothing complicated here. You don't need all of this stuff. In fact, this is about as simple as I think you should get Podio in your workspace. Seller leads, buyer leads, offers, contracts, and your campaigns. Does that make sense? All right. Woo. Keep it simple. Basic apps, basic workflows. Let nothing fall through the cracks. No lead left behind. Manage by tasks. Okay? Now let's talk about virtual assistants because this is where the power of systems and automation comes in, because sometimes the best automation you can have is an assistant, is a virtual assistant. Or call them a personal assistant if you want, okay? This is something I'm so passionate about because I get complaints, not complaints all the time, but I get people saying, hey, I need help because I'm trying to get Podio or my CRM to do all of this stuff and it's overwhelming. And I'm talking to them and find out they're spending 2 to 4 hours a day in front of their computer managing all of their leads, okay? There's got to be a better way to do that. Now, what I'm going to be talking about on this webinar is how to get automation and how to get it to work for you, not against you. So how to get personal assistants or virtual assistants in the Philippines or local, doesn't matter, to manage your CRM for you, to manage your systems for you. Imagine this. This is what I'm training all of my clients and my team members to do right now. Imagine this. You just have one special private email address that only your VA has, okay? And every morning when you get up, remember your highest, best use of your time, your highest revenue generating activities is talking to sellers and making offers, right? So imagine you have a special private email address and your VA works 9 to 5 your time, okay? And you've given her instructions. I want you to go into Podio and every day only send me the next 3 things I have to do in an email address. So give me 3 emails first thing in the morning. 8 a.m., you go to your email inbox. It's only emails from her or him. And you look at the first email. And in there, it's just the information you need to do. So what your VA does, your VA goes into Podio, takes and pulls out the information, sends it to you in an email. Okay? This is so cool. You look at the email, you got to call this seller up. You call them, hey, how you doing? I see that you contacted us about a house you want to sell. I'm calling you back. You ask them some basic questions. You chicken scratch your notes on a yellow pad of paper. Okay? Then after that, you voice memo your VA back. Hey, I talked to the seller at 123 Main Street. The house is listed right now with the realtor. It expires in 2 months. Go ahead and tag it as follow-up. Send them an offer in the mail. Remind me in 2 months to call them back. Boom. It's done. You send the voice memo, right? And then you delete the email, and you go back to the next email, and you call the seller up. It's a motivated seller, right? So you're writing down notes. Yeah, you want to sell? Great. You got some equity, blah, 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 blah. All right. You're going to set up an appointment at 9 a.m. to meet the seller tomorrow. Okay, great. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, what do? You don't go sit down and look at your chicken scratch notes and try to put all that information into Podio. You just send a simple voice memo to your VA. Hey, I talked to the seller at 123 Main Street. Add an appointment to my calendar to meet them at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Prepare some comps for me. Prepare a contract. And thanks. Okay, that's it. Your assistant then sets that up. You go to the next lead. It's a dead lead. Boom. You've gone through all 3 leads in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay? Then what do? You voice memo your VA back. All right, send me the next thing I got to do. That's it. So now you are being proactive, not reactive. Okay? You're just sending voice memos back and forth to your VA, and you're only getting a dedicated email that only she has, so you're not getting distracted by other things. You're talking to sellers, you're making offers. Do you see the power of that, guys? So now you're not anymore even in Podio, except once a week at your management meeting with your VA, and you're reviewing all the open tasks. That is powerful, guys. And that's how you're going to set up your business to succeed. And that's how you can wholesale deals while you're traveling around Europe, while you're traveling around national parks in the northwestern quarter of the U.S., while you're sitting on the beach, or while you're at Starbucks or in your home office. That's how you manage a real business. Do you see the power of that? And it's so simple. It's not that complicated or hard to set up. All right, now, how do you find, hire, and train a VA? I'm just going to give you a few links here real quick. Upwork.com, onlinejobs.ph. One of my favorite resources lately, a good friend of mine, I interviewed him on the podcast. He has a website called vaeasybutton.com, vaeasybutton.com. Give the guy a call. He's got a headhunting service where he finds good VAs. He trains them under like a couple hundred hours of real estate investing training. And you pay a premium, but these are VAs that have really good English, or real estate trained, and they're great. Also, don't be afraid to find a VA on Craigslist, to find a good local assistant. In fact, if you had a choice, local assistant or a virtual assistant, I would always choose the local assistant first, okay? You can pay them hourly and give them bonuses on deals. So you can pay them the same pay that you'd pay a Filipino VA, but give them a bonus and incentive for all of the deals that they help you do. Does that make sense? That way you can sit together in an office or at Starbucks and work on the business. You don't have to worry about the training, the language barriers and things like that, okay? It's real simple. And I am also going to include a free video and a free special report. If you register for the webinar, after the webinar, I'm going to give you guys a special link where you can get the special video and report that I've created here on how to find, hire, and train VAs. I created a whole document on how to do it, the tools that I use, and how to find them and train them and hire them, all that stuff. So you're going to get those links at the webinar. That's my ethical bribe to get you on the webinar, okay? So what are the main responsibilities of a VA? Real simple. Handle Podio or your CRM handle your CRM for you, okay? Then do all your follow-up. Okay, so remember, every lead gets a follow-up task. You know, you add them once a month. You're going to mail everybody a letter, all your old leads. You're going to send every seller an offer right away. And I'm going to show you on the next post how to do that. So your VA is going to manage Podio for you, do all your follow-up, and send all your offers for you. That's it. Okay? I know it sounds really simple, and you may be overwhelmed by that, but really, if you keep Podio simple and you break it down to just the basic things that you need, whether it's whatever CRM you're using, just sellers, buyers, contracts, that's all you need to track. Okay? Then it becomes really easy for a VA to learn it after watching those videos in Podio Help support. Okay? they can learn to manage it. And you kind of learn it. She'll learn it as you guys go along. But just then send voice memos back and forth using Voxer or WhatsApp with a smartphone. Update Podio. And you don't even have to, theoretically, you don't even have to create automatic tasks or workflows in Podio. Your VA should be just trained enough when a new lead comes in or when it's staged follow-up, tasked as follow-up, they can create the task for themselves to do that follow-up. But that's their job. Manage your CRM for you, do all your follow-up for you, and send the offers for you. That's it. Okay? So, I get excited about this because I know this will help so many people just bust through the barriers that they're facing in their business to start wholesaling 5-6 figures a month. All right? Now, I have an automated wholesaling system. That's what I'm doing the webinar about. I have the systems where you can actually train your VAs for you, and it's really cool. So if you register for the webinar, I'm going to give you a special video on how I hire, find, and train my VAs, and I have a document that you're going to get as well. So that's my ethical bribe to watch the webinar. And on this webinar, I'm doing it live this week and next week, and I'm going to be doing it live for a long time. I'm going to show you how the 3 secrets to create a fully automated wholesaling business, okay, where you can start wholesaling deals from anywhere in the world, working less than 10 hours a week without ever talking to buyers or sellers, ever. And that's what I did when we were in Prague for 3 months last summer, just a few months ago, and what we did while we were traveling in our RV the year before that. Now, there's 3 secrets to do that, and I've already been kind of talking about them in these podcast series. So just number 1, list all the things you have to do in a typical wholesale deal, and ask yourself this important question: how can I do none of this? Number 2, learn how to target the right sellers with the right marketing, so you're not wasting a ton of money on marketing, right? And number 3, follow up, follow up, follow up. You need to make offers to every seller lead that you get. I'm going to show you how to do that. In fact, on the next post right here, I'm going to actually give you the calculator that I use as another ethical bribe to get you on this webinar, because it's going to be really good. So to get on the webinar, you go to automatedwholesaling.com/webinar. automatedwholesaling.com/webinar. That will show you when the next live webinar is going to be. Listen, guys, when I say it's live, I'm there, and I'm going to be answering all your questions. So it's a live webinar. automatedwholesaling.com/webinar, and you're going to get that. So cool. Next blog post, guys, stay tuned for it. I'm going to be talking about my simple offer calculator, and I'm going to show you how you can create and mail in the physical mail offers in seconds, and how you can actually get your VA to do it. She can send your mail for you from the Philippines, and you should be sending an offer to every single seller lead that comes in. If you just do that, you will double the number of leads that you would normally do without doing any extra marketing. It's pretty powerful, and I've been doing it for a while. I've just seen a lot of successful clients and friends do it. You need to be sending offers to your sellers, and if we're setting up systems to automate your entire business, you've got to have a simple calculator that your VAs then can start doing that for you. Okay, cool. So I'll see you on the webinar. See you on the next post. Take care. automatedwholesaling.com/webinar. automatedwholesaling.com/webinar. All right, see you guys.